Keeping my retro gaming collection in mint condition is important to me for several reasons. One of them, keeping them clean and in working order. While there are many ways to clean your cartridge-based games, the best way to keep them clean throughout their entire life is putting them in a Collector Protector gaming case. Preventative maintenance is the best maintenance.
Not to mention, they make them in many different sizes for multiple types of games, game boxes, Funko Pops, VHS tapes, and even gaming consoles. I've invested a lot of time and money into my collection, and I want it to stay working and looking great as long as possible. Thanks to the help of Collector Protector, I'll be able to enjoy my collection for years to come. Get yours today at www.collectorprotector.com and start protecting the games and collectibles you love. Also, follow them on Instagram at Collector Protector for updates on new products.
And we're back, guys. Thank you very much for Collector Protector sponsoring this video. So, if you don't know anything about A Nightmare on Elm Street, you're missing out. Quick brief history on what this film franchise is about. Basically, you have this nightmare monster killer killing teenagers in their sleep, and when they die in their dreams, they die in the real world. Basically, all you need to know to get started on this film franchise. We're going to be ranking it. S being super, in my opinion, and then we've got A, B, C, and Z for zero. So, let's get to this ranking. So, number one, we've got the original Nightmare on Elm Street. That is going in the S ranking for stellar, super, stupendous. This film kicks off the franchise, like, just does not miss a beat. It's very good, unlike my videos. This film makes Freddy very mysterious and very scary. I'll say that. This is probably the only film where Freddy is actually scary. He doesn't have a whole lot of one-liners, but I do like the fact that we see the killer's face, which is also kind of part of his mask, you know what I mean? Like when you got Freddy Krueger's mask, I mean not Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees' mask, you know, you've got Leatherface wearing a mask, Michael Myers, so that's just kind of his look, right? So this is very interesting because this time we have the killer who talks, and you can see his face, unlike the other killers that I just mentioned before. But anyways, this film kind of pulls a gotcha in the fact that you think Tina is your protagonist, and then she dies, and then Nancy becomes the one in the spotlight. And this movie's pretty neat too, because you also got baby Johnny Depp in it. But I really like this movie a lot. If you haven't seen it, get on it. It's Halloween time. It is fall. You need to watch some spooky stuff. So, let's go with the second movie, the sequel. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. This is going into the C tier. It's okay. It is a weird follow-up to the first movie because this one kind of breaks all the rules that the first one set up. He doesn't kill anyone in their dreams. What he does is he ends up possessing the protagonist, Jesse, and then eventually uses Jesse's body as like a host, and he like rips, the scene's gross, he rips out of Jesse basically, and becomes, or gets into the real world, out of the dream world or whatever. But it's very interesting. Wasn't the biggest fan of it. I do think it's pretty neat how it's got like the LGBTQ undertones and stuff to that. But this movie, it was just kind of like, you could pass it, because it really doesn't mix or intertwine with the rest of the films of the franchise. So we've got Part 3, The Dream Warriors. That's going into the A tier. So in this movie, we've got a group of kids who are in a mentally ill clinic. These kids all have their own issues and problems. One kid, can't talk. Another one's in a wheelchair, and they're all kind of having like these sleep dream, or these horrifying dreams, and all this and that. And then you've also got, real quick, Cowboy Curtis, Larry Fishburne, aka Lawrence Fishburne. He's billed in the movie as Larry Fishburne. That is pretty funny. He plays like a caretaker, nurse kind of dude. But this movie brings back Nancy from the first movie, and this one takes place 7 or 8 years after the first movie. And you see her as an adult, and she's like a psychiatrist or something now. And anyways, she helps basically the group of kids try to fight back against Freddy and kill him once and for all, and dies doing so, which I thought was kind of cool, that they kill the returning survivor and protagonist. You know, had she not gone to this facility, she probably would have lived her full life. But this movie is really neat because in this film in the franchise, we finally see Freddy become the Freddy Krueger that we all know and love, which is really weird to say, but you know, you see him be way more vocal. The kills are way more creative than they were in the first two films. These ones are actually like really cartoony almost, down to the point where there is a claymation version of Freddy Krueger. You've got some really out there kills, and this is where we get that line, "Welcome to prime time, bitch," you know, and Freddy gets I can't remember her name, she gets her head and like shoves it into the TV, because she was like just trying really hard to be a celebrity and whatever. You've got one kill where Freddy gets this kid's veins and like opens up his arm and stretches out the veins, and he's using the kid as like a marionette doll. It's very creepy. We see Freddy Krueger's, or the ghost of Freddy Krueger's mom, kind of explain what he is and whatever, and it's pretty neat. It's a very neat movie. You get to see the kids like really fight back and whatnot in their dreams. And we also have Patricia Arquette, who is like the main survivor girl in this film, and she has a power to like pull people in like to her dreams and stuff. And anyways, it's a neat movie. And we get 3 survivors from this film too that make it to the next one, which is part 4, the Dream Master, right? Yeah, Dream Master. So part 4 we're gonna put right here at B. It's gonna be B tier. It's not bad at all, but this is the first movie, and I think it's the only movie actually too, where we see a recasting. So Patricia Arquette did not make it from the 3rd film going to the 4th one for I don't know what reason. Some people say she's pregnant, some people say she didn't want to come back, whatever the case may be. They recast her as Tuesday Night was the actress who took over, and she actually I think sang the intro song for the film. But so you got her and the 2 other survivors, and they end up dying like not even a quarter into the film. But before that happens, she passes off her power to another girl, and you know, she becomes like being able to pull people into her dreams and whatnot. And in this one again, you see more one-liners from Freddy. You see way more creative kills. Like there's a kill in this one where Freddy, there's this girl with asthma, and he looks at her and goes, "Wanna suck face?" You know, and he literally sucks all the life out of her. Like if you've ever like had a bag, right, and then you put the vacuum to it to vacuum seal it, and it just goes like that's exactly what this chick looked like. It was insane and funny and crazy. But then you also got like another lame kill where the protagonist's brother is like all into karate and stuff, right, and he fights Freddy's glove, which is really lame. So that's what kind of like that kind of stuff, the inconsistencies in the artistic avenue of the kills and stuff kind of like brings it down a little bit. So we're putting it at the B tier. It's not horrible, it's like right in the middle. Now we're gonna go to part 5, the Dream Child. We're gonna put it right there too. So the protagonist from the 4th film makes it to the 5th along with her boyfriend, or he might be new, I can't remember. 4 and 5 kind of blend together for me. So in the 5th film, the protagonist is pregnant, and there is basically this is a way for Freddy to come back, because he doesn't really have much power anymore. But he finds out that this movie's kind of weird with the story, and there might be some plot holes, but he uses the unborn baby's dreams to gain more power and come back. And this one's got some cool kills too. Like there's this one like anorexic chick or whatever, and he like overfeeds her to like where her face is like all huge, you know, like Monty Python's Life of Brian styles. It's really funny. He ends up feeding like her own guts. It's pretty gross, but it's still crazy. I think this is the one where you see like Freddy become like a big old snake or whatever, but this one's all right. There's a really cool kill where the protagonist's boyfriend is riding a motorcycle, and obviously he's in a nightmare, and the motorcycle starts to like get its pipes and its tubes, and it like starts jamming them into him, and he like becomes part of the motorcycle, and they're like one, and it's really cool. The version you see in the DVDs is edited down because they had a really bad problem with like the MPAA or whatever it's called, the Motion Picture Association. I don't know, whatever. They kept telling them to tone it down, unfortunately. So that was a good one. It was a good kill though. It was pretty neat. You also see Freddy freaking like be like the Roadrunner or the Coyote, Wile E. Coyote from Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. Like he cartoonishly gets like a nail strip thing and like puts it alongside of the road. You know, like it's just kind of funny. And at this point in the film franchise as well, Freddy is like all over mainstream media. So now we have part 6, Freddy is Dead. So we're gonna put it right there at C. There's not one Nightmare on Elm Street like original that I would put on a Z tier, so spoiler alert, but Freddy's Dead is pretty rough. So this one's filmed in 3D, which was pretty neat, I guess, kind of gimmicky, but we have, again, what they do with the first movie, they go, here you go, here's your protagonist. Just kidding, it's this one. Which is cool. I guess, the protagonist, we'll say protagonist A, is a guy who's just like John Doe. No one knows crap about him. He doesn't know much about himself. He's led to believe that Freddy is his dad. And then Freddy kills him. And they're like, just kidding. Protagonist B is Amanda Kruger, Freddy's daughter. So, that's cool. Like, gotcha. And anyways, so this group of survivors, they're like troubled teens who all have like their own issues. Like I believe one has like hearing aid problems, another one's like a stoner druggie. Can't remember too much of the rest of them. I think this one was it this one that has the drug addict chick? I can't remember. But anyways, this one has a really cool like NES style kill where the stoner actor is played by, or the stoner character is played by actor Breckin Meyer, famous from like Rat Race and was it Road Trip, those movies. He is a character in an NES game that Freddy is playing, and he's playing like with the power glove and stuff. And it's just really funny to see Freddy because he's like, oh yeah, high score, yeah, just like getting all into it, and then he's like, oh, that's playing with power, just like all freaking corny, it's hilarious. And you see a cameo from Roseanne Barr and her then husband Tom Arnold. Basically, like in this final installment of the film franchise, Freddy has killed like all the kids. All the kids in that town are all dead. And so the town is very like dead, like all the trees are dead, it's very deep into fall, you can tell, and it's just like there's no like absence of color and life in the town basically. And so when all the adults see the kids roll into town, they're like, oh my gosh, they're freaking out all over them. It's crazy. And then anyways, Amanda Kruger kills Freddy Krueger with a pipe bomb. And that's that. That's how Freddy goes out with a pipe bomb. And his last line is, kids. Just like, it's so stupid. So that's why it gets a C. Freddy should have gone out on top. Anyways, next we've got Wes Craven's A New Nightmare. This one is very meta and fourth wall breaking. I really like this movie a lot, and without hesitation, I'm putting this right at the A tier. Or S tier, sorry. Wes Craven's New Nightmare, like I said, is very meta and very fourth wall breaking. So this follows the actress who played Nancy, Heather Langenkamp, her husband and her son in the real world, right? Her husband and son. But her husband is a special effects props guy, and he's working on the newest Nightmare on Elm Street film, and he's like working on the glove or whatever. So, long story short, the demon force behind the idea of Freddy Krueger comes to form and comes to reality. And you can see here in the DVD cover, that version of Freddy looks a lot more menacing than like the others. You see, like right there. Much more evil. Like, that's just the best way to put it. That's exactly what this character is. He's very dark, evil, menacing. And anyways, it's really neat to see like Robert Englund and Wes Craven in this movie as themselves, and be afraid and cautious. And you even see John Saxon is in this movie as well, who was the Nancy's dad in the first movie. And you see him and Heather Langenkamp have a relationship, as friends, and whatnot. But it is very intense and real and freaky, and that movie is just very scary. I liked it because it's scary. So that's why it is back at S. Robert Englund does play the, demon Freddy and whatnot, and it's really cool to see him be menacing again like he was in the first movie, but even at a higher scale. So we've got these last two here. We have Freddy vs. Jason. Okay, this is gonna go right there at the C tier as well. It's fun, but it's like 15 years too late. They had teased this, and I think Jason Goes to Hell at the very end. Freddy's hand and the claw reach up and grab Jason's mask and like pull it down to hell. But that was all we got as far as like a genuine tease goes for something. Of course, with studio rights and distribution rights and this and that, it's a lot harder. A lot of people expect crossovers and things to go like very smoothly and stuff, but it's a lot harder because of rights and money deals and this and that. So anyways, it's fun. This is unfortunately Robert Englund's last time playing Freddy. And I say unfortunately just because I wanted him to go out on top. Like, that guy has put his heart and soul into this character, and that's really what he's known for, But the story goes, Freddy has lost his powers because everyone's forgotten about him. And no one, you can't dream what you don't know about, I guess, right? So he uses Jason to start making people think that the people Jason's killing are from Freddy Krueger. He's back, So eventually it leads up to them fighting over people to kill. And there's one scene in particular where Freddy's got this girl trapped in his dream world. And Jason ends up killing her before Freddy can, and he's like, "No, she was mine!" It's funny. But it's just entertaining. Their fight at the end, where they fight in the physical world, is very, very like Looney Tunes. I liked it. But again, it's just fun. That's all it is. Not scary, just fun. And lastly, we have the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. That's going right at the Z. Just poorly executed. Did not need to happen. It's just garbage. That's what it is. So anyways, that's my tier. That is my list for the franchise A Nightmare on Elm Street. We've got, I think more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 good half and 4 bad half. So, that's like a passing grade, I guess. The Nightmare on Elm Street franchise is my second favorite horror franchise. My first being Scream. Ooh, I should do a Scream tier list. Maybe I'll do that next time. But the character Freddy as a whole is just so iconic. You know what I mean? Just, you say Freddy Krueger, people go, like, you know who Freddy Krueger is. There's never been another Freddy Krueger. Well, I mean, there has with the reboot, but we all forgot about that really quick. So anyways, guys, let me know in the comments down below what you think of my list, where you would rank your favorite movies in this list, where you would put part 1, part 2, all the way down to the remake. And let me guys know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it. If not, then don't like it. It's totally fine. I know my videos are kind of crap. Yeah. But anyways, if you're new, make sure to subscribe. You know, that's just really nice of you guys. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Halloween spooktacular month, October. There's something about fall that I just love so much. It's just like a different, you can feel it in the air, you know what I mean? And like you look up at the sky when it sunsets and you're like, it's just so much different. Plus, I live in the very hot state of Arizona, and when it's fall, it means finally cooler weather. It's not 100 degrees anymore. Might be 90, but it's not 100. Alright guys, I'm out of here. I love you so much. I'll see you next time. Be blessed, be a blessing to others, and don't forget to smile. World needs it. See you guys.